What is going on, Savages? I hope everyone is having a good day. In this video, we are going to look at mining ZEL using Hashr8 OS and the Miniz miner, which I'm not really familiar with. So this should be pretty interesting. Let's get after it. Alright, so let's check out the market real quick before we get started. See what's going on over there. A little bit of a pullback today, it looks like. We are red, you can see behind me. Got the color going on again. And yeah, so I mean, you know, 1% is not that bad, but it is kind of like creeping back down to the 9,000 range whenever we were hanging around 9,300 for quite a while. So probably a expected pullback at least a little bit. As far as the coins that we watch, you got Aeon is still killing it over here, above 13 cents now. What we're going to be looking at tonight is ZEL, and that's 4 cents, down just a tad, nothing major. Raven is hanging around 3 cents. Rio looks like it's down again, way below 2 cents in my opinion. That's you know, 8% is still not that much for crypto, but definitely down below 2 cents on that. And CCX was the other one, and I think that's this little sliver right here. It won't even let me click on it, so I guess the market value is too, market cap is too low, I guess, for it to even show up on there. Let me see here. Alright, so they're going back down to 10 cents it looks like. What's the overall? So overall, this is not really good because the BTC dominance is going down. The volume is still pretty high, but alts are losing. That's not really a good sign. Let's see here. XRP is up a little bit. All right. Oh, Icon, yeah. You know, I used to have some Icon. Now it's like I'm all regretting selling it. I think what I did, I actually did a video on it, trading it off of. I went from, I had Icon and a couple other coins that I wanted to get into CCX. I think I did a video on getting it from, you know, from Binance. Probably is where I had Icon on Binance, I would imagine, and then getting it into BTC, trading it for BTC, getting BTC on Trade Ogre so that I could buy CCX. I think Icon was one of them, if I remember right. So I don't remember what I sold it at though. I think it was more than 49 cents, but I don't know. I don't remember. We'll have to. I would have to go back and look. All right, let me check the chat real quick. See if everything's okay in here, sound good and all that. What's up, the Deadwood? Serpent, Crypto Mikhail, thanks for hanging out, man. I appreciate it. Got some experienced Miniz miners in here, so that's cool. Might be able to help me out here if I get stuck. All right, so let's get rid of this, and we are going to move on to the actual content, which is how to mine ZEL using Miniz miner on Hashr8 OS. All right, so you can see here I am mining ZEL already. I am using Gminer 1.96. I think that's the latest, and I do have a couple of rejected shares. I don't know exactly why. It's kind of a, for me, it's kind of a random thing that has been happening here lately. I don't know if maybe I just have not that great connectivity or something else going on the network or something, but it seems to be this GPU and this GPU that are always getting the bad shares. And if you look at the you know, overclock settings here, this one, this 1070 Ti compared to this one that has no rejected shares. And this is something else that's really cool about Hashr8 OS, is it shows you which GPU is spitting out bad shares, right? So that's kind of a handy little information there. So you can just look at it and see, compare the two, right? So you got a 1070 Ti here and a 1070 Ti here, different overclock settings, because I had them separated out because I had one that was based on what to mine recommended, or not recommended, but the values that they use for overclock off of what to mine, and then I had Overcooked Panda, one of the more popular overclock settings from that database, and I was going to compare them, you know, and kind of run some tests and show the difference between the two. And you can see right here 1070 Ti, 1070 Ti, 35.9, 36.6. This one only has, the only difference is 5 on the power and 100 on the memory. But it's possible that that little bit right there, at least on the memory side, might be causing the rejected shares. Now I haven't done a whole lot of testing, you know, so I don't know. I guess I could probably go back and find out when this occurred and stuff, but you know, it might be a situation where I could just simply drop that back down to you know, 500 on the memory and maybe not get any rejected shares. But it's such a low amount, I'm not really that worried about it. I just hate seeing this little exclamation point here. I mean, percentage wise, it's 0.08% of my submitted, so it's not a really big deal. Just noticed you were live. What's up, Crypto Clydesdale? ETH pill on here. You know, I don't know if I even have that enabled because it's Equihash, but I know that some people say it makes a difference. I don't think it does here. Let's see, tuning. Yeah, I don't even have it on. Maybe we'll mess with that whenever we get the Miniz miner set up. Let's see here. Yeah, I do have the two 1080s, but anyway, so let me get back to what I was saying here. So I might just drop this back down, but again, it's just not a huge percentage. You know, I'm not too worried about it. And not only that, but as soon as we change the miner over to Miniz, we're going to be cleared out of the rejected shares. So, all right. So I am using Gminer. Did I say something else? What miner? Hey, what's up, Unknown Crypto? Yeah, I'm not following the chat here, so I don't know what miners. Yeah, I'll try the ETH pill, the Deadwood. I don't think it affects Equihash at all, though. I could be wrong, but I've played around with it before and I never really saw any difference, so not with Equihash anyway. All right, so I guess that we are ready to, oh, you know what I need to do? I need to take a screenshot. I'm going to take a screenshot of this so that we can document, you know, what our hash rates are and stuff, because I'm not going to change the coin or the pool. I'm only going to change the miner, or that's the intent anyway. So they just added, Miniz just came out with 1.5 T, I think is the latest. Yeah, 1.5 T. And that was also already added to Hashr8 OS, so we will be able to add it fairly easily. And I did add it, the miner, to the wallet, but I haven't like ever assigned it to the rig or anything like that. So I'll show you how to do that real quick. So if you go to wallets, I have my wallet separated out by the type. So like desktop would be like a Qt type wallet, you know, its own desktop wallet, GUI interface, whatever. And then if the coin is in the ZEL core desktop wallet, then I have those addresses down here. And this just kind of keeps them organized into where the actual address is at, which type of wallet it's in. So this has worked out pretty good to have them separated like this. Then we go to, you can see my address over here. So we go to edit the wallet, for ZEL. Actually, we're editing for both. But on the ZEL coin, now we would go to edit coin over here. And if we scroll down, you can see I'm mining on ZEL Labs. I'm not going to change that. I don't want to change anything other than the actual miner. You can see that I went ahead and added the miner earlier. And if you needed to add another one, or if you wanted to try another one, you could just click the down arrow and add that miner in there. And you can see I'm using GMiner 1.96 right now. So let me, before I forget, I know I copied that. I did a screenshot. Let me paste that into Paint real quick so we can get a picture. We'll be able to compare our hash rates and stuff, our souls per second. All right. So let's go ahead and we are going to, well, you can see that's already added. So now in order to get it assigned to the rig, you have to go back out to, you could go to rigs or dashboard, and then we will go to, I'm going to put a check mark here, action. I normally would just go right to mining, but you know what I want to do? I want to actually pause it. I think it's a good practice to pause it. So I'm going to go into the rig, pause. Are you sure? And then we should be able to, oh, you know what? I might not be able to. If you pause it, let's see here. You have to go back out to dashboard, I guess. Action, mining. So it's kind of like a roundabout way of doing it. I guess you couldn't do it from over here. Maybe rigs. Yeah, so if you click on rigs, you can do it also. Put a check mark next to the rig and then go to mining. And then you can see the wallet here. Like I was pointing out, you've got the two. We're on ZEL Core, ZEL Cache, and then you click the down arrow for picking the miner, and you got the two that we had selected that you saw earlier. So I'm going to choose Miniz 1.5T, apply to all, and I think that this kicks off a start for the rig also. So in other words, you don't have to go back in there and do a start after you pause it. So so that's like, I think that that's a good practice to do it that way so that it's not actively mining whenever you try to change it. I don't know, maybe. Maybe it makes sense to do that. I don't know. While that's rebooting, let me check the chat here real quick and see what y'all are up to. Not going live tonight. Uh-oh. Brando's not going live. He's traveling. Yeah, he's doing I think he's doing a wedding or something, right? Maybe. All right, so it looks like it is back up. And we are currently only at 154, and I can tell you that we were at a whole lot more than that earlier. We were at, oh shoot, I didn't get the total. Okay, there we go. So it's probably doing optimizations. What I'm going to show you in a minute is we're going to get into the console, and I'll show you, you know, a really awesome troubleshooting step. If you ever have a problem with Hashr8 OS and not mining, and you're kind of wondering what's going on and why it's doing what it's doing, then I can tell you already that this is a lot more. That's a lot more hash rate than GMiner had for sure. I'm saying hash rate, but you know what I mean, souls per second. You know what I didn't document either is the power. I did document the power for each GPU, but not the total. I should have took a screenshot of this. This would have been a much better screenshot, but I didn't. We can switch back to GMiner if we need to do that. And this GPU right here runs hot. I probably need to thermal paste it. This is a 1080 that runs pretty warm. typically has a 100% on the fan. All right, so let's go in here real quick. I just want to glance at this real quick. So it looks like the 1070 before was 32.9. So this is a pretty solid increase there. And it was 32.9 at 121 watts. So this is 112 watts and getting more souls per second. So that is cool. 1070 Ti was 3660. This is 3710. About the same power. So not a huge increase on the 1070 Ti. The 1070, it was 3260. This one was. It was 3260 at 114. So that's a little bit of an increase, but definitely it looks like it has helped. It looks like the Mini Z works better with the 1070s for sure. And then the 1080s, we had 38 before. 38 at 131 watts, and this is 37.9 at 132 and 100% fan. Yeah, this one struggles a little bit to stay cool. And then the 1070 Ti here was 3590 at 109 watts, and this is 119. This fluctuates quite a bit on Equihash, I've noticed. So I don't put, I mean, I kind of probably should just take an average, you know, of what's going on here, because I've seen it vary 10-20%, you know, up or down. So it probably just depends. And then this 1080 down here was 3590 at 118 watts. So this is 3720 at 113. So this one's better. And probably as time goes on, it probably will get better. I think there's some auto optimizations inside of Miniz. So I don't know if, you know, it might be doing benchmarking and stuff. I don't know. I don't know all the ins and outs of Miniz, but yeah, over time it might get a little bit better. But let's look at the actual console here, because this is the cool part. If you're into, like, you know, if you need help troubleshooting, hey, what's up, Red Panda? If you need help troubleshooting or figuring out why your rig isn't mining or whatever, you know, something's wrong with it, then if you go into console in Hashr8 OS and you get to the command prompt down here, you know, you end up putting in the username and password here. If you haven't changed it, it's just like this. And then if you hit the up arrow, then you can see what Hashr8 OS has given to the miner for configuration. So you can see in this case, it is running Miniz. I think this is parameter. The par is the actual Equihash algorithm, which is 125.4 for ZEL. URL is, it has the username, which is the address, the rig name, and then at the pool. So that's how they're doing the mining URL. Okay, so all that looks very normal. Password is X. I don't know if you guys can actually see this. Let me zoom up a little bit here. The password is X, and then you've got telemetry. I'll show you that in a minute also. That's kind of cool. Log file, so it does have a log file going on, so you could check that. Actually, I don't know if you can, I mean, you can probably get to it. It's probably a little bit of a pain, but at least it is logging. And then non-VML, I would have to look up what that actual means. Let me look that up real quick. So non-VML, they've got a really cool website that has all these settings and everything in here. So let's see here. Command line arguments. What was that? It was non-VML. probably going to look right over it. Yeah, parameters, that's what that meant. Non-VML. Oh, disable GPU monitoring. Okay, so I don't know if that's going to affect the telemetry. I don't know how that works. But they do have all of their switches or configuration here on command line arguments on their website. It's one of the few projects as far as miners go that just have a website dedicated to, hey, here's, oh, and that's something to note also, and here's probably one of the reasons why, is Miniz is like Equihash only. It's dedicated to Equihash, which is cool because they can kind of stay focused. You know, they don't try to do a lot of different algorithms. They do have a 2% fee. I think it shows down here at the bottom somewhere. So 2% of the mining time is donated, not donated, but given to them basically. Yeah. What I was trying to say was, you know, it's one of the only projects that I know that has a dedicated website that has all the cool information, you know, with how to configure it, you know, and the downloads and just everything. It's really cool. I was pretty impressed with this website for sure. Lots of good examples. You know, you don't have to dig too deep to, you don't have to get on Bitcoin Talk, right, and go searching for hours and hours to try to find personalization string for a project that you're trying to mine, right? So it's easy. They make it they consolidate all the data here, which I kind of like. Anyway, so definitely not sponsored content or anything like that. You guys know that I only talk about things that I like, so that is what I am doing right now. I ran into this. I saw it on, actually I talked about it just briefly last night on the stream. I was talking about some of the news that ZEL had, you know, recently, and one of the things that they, I want to say that ZEL actually tweeted about the Miniz miner coming out, you know, and I guess that this one was a little bit more efficient than the previous one for ZEL, so they mentioned it, or I saw it on a news feed or something. I don't know, probably an aggregate news feed where I was searching for ZEL information and ran across Miniz. So I was like, hey, you know what? I've heard some things about it. Let me go ahead and give it a shot. So that's why I'm doing this. This is not sponsored or anything crazy like that. All right. So we see that there's really not a lot of configuration that Hashr8 OS gave to the miner. So what we could do, we could play around with this a little bit. We do have telemetry though. Let me show you that real quick. I think that we will be able to. All right, so it's 5500. The IP of the rig is right here, so we should be able to. Much like Gminer kind of has this too. Yeah, there it is. All right, cool. So all I did was, you can't really see it, but all I did was I went to the rig's IP and then a colon and then the port, which is 5500, which is what Hashr8 OS gave it. You could give it almost any port you wanted as long as it's not a commonly used port that interferes with other services on your system. You know, you could, here 5500 is probably a good one. It's probably not used by much. So I would just stick with that unless you have a reason to change it. And then the 127.0.0.1 is your home address or your loopback, but you got to remember it's not referring to the, this isn't wrong, in other words, because this miner is running on the rig and this is the loopback address. So whatever the rig's IP address is what you would put into your browser on another computer to actually get to the this page here, you know, what do they call this, telemetry page. So it's kind of neat, you know, you can get over here and you can see, yeah, just quick stats, you know, good information though. I don't see, there's no wattage over here. Souls per watt is INF. So probably, this is probably because of that non-VML parameter. So if we were able to give it non-VML, or take that out, we might be able to see souls per watt in here. I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong there, Crypto Mikkel and Serpent, if you guys know whether or not that's true or not. It seems like that would be what is actually stopping it, is the non-VML parameter. And I'm not gonna lie, I do not know how to stop it from giving that parameter. I know how to add parameters, but I don't know how to take one out that is given to it by Hashr8 OS. I'm sure there's a way, but I do not know how to do that quickly. I'd have to do a dive into that to figure it out. Sure, there's a way though. I don't think that they let you get into these folders very easily, or this path here. I think I've tried that before and it's kind of hidden. I would have to get with Terminal Cipher to ask this question. Is there a way to take that non-VML off? I think that that's what that's doing. It's causing this to not show the wattage and the souls per second or souls per watt. So, but anyway, you can see that if you could take that off, if you were mining, for example, on Windows, you know, you could take off that setting pretty easily. And I don't think it's in there by default anyway. So I guess that they put it in there because they didn't expect people to use this interface. Maybe they probably expect people to only use the Hashr8 OS interface, so you wouldn't have the souls per watt, I guess, displayed in here. Although that would be super cool as well if they pulled in that information inside of here to give souls per watt. That would be neat. All right. Let me look back over at my screenshot and do a little bit of comparing here again. So this was 3290 before at 121 watts. The TI was 3660. I don't know what percentage of an increase that is. Definitely more on the 1070 side, at least a little bit. So we got about one more soul here. We got about two more souls here. Same here, about two more. 1080. Didn't get a whole lot more. Let's go ahead and enable the ETH pill and see if it makes a difference on the 1080s. So if you go to tuning, it's just a little checkbox up here for NV pill. We're going to click apply. Probably didn't need to do that. Probably just needed to click update rig, but we're going to click update rig and it will restart it. That was funny. So all I did the up arrow. I think I took one too many out. Just did the up arrow and took off the non-VML. So I want to see if that actually allows that not up and running yet, so I have to give it a second here. Hey, what's up, Ozzy? So now I can't get to that page just yet. I think it's still kind of firing up. Give it a minute or two here. Yeah, there has to be a way. I don't know if I just kind of found it by mistake here or by accident. Trying to find out. I'm wondering why. It seems like it's taken quite a while to start up. I don't know if I caused that by what I did or what here, but the only thing I did was enabled the pill, right? So I wouldn't imagine that it would have a negative effect, but it looks like it might. I don't have any errors or anything, so yeah, these hash rates are super, or souls per second is super low compared to what it was just a minute ago. And it's actually decreasing. So let me do this. Let me get out of here because I was kind of playing around with that, so I don't want to have that be the problem. I'm going to reboot the rig and not mess with it this time in the command line. Yeah, I'm going to reboot it once, and then I'm going to disable the pill if it still shows really poor hash rate. Yeah, we're still going serial. we're going because Brandon Coin is not going live, so I figured I can run over a little bit. I can go a little bit past 10. I don't want to go too much longer though. I want to see what happens here with this particular rig though, because that's interesting to enable the pill and then have such a negative effect. So it's kind of cool to see that actually happen. And it might not have. See, it could have been what I was doing that caused it, because see, now it's actually a pretty normal souls per second starting up. So we'll see. Before we had, and I haven't disabled the NV pill yet. And this doesn't, hey, what's up, Mining Chamber? this one doesn't. Hashr8 OS updates every 30 seconds. So if you don't refresh it manually, it's every 30 seconds you'll see something different. But now it looks normal, right? Even though the pill is enabled. If it still is. So let's double check. Yeah, it's still enabled. So so what I was doing in the command line is probably what caused that particular problem. So I think that we're clear of that. I don't think that that's going to be an issue. Let's go back into the command line. We're back up and running, pretty solid here. So we'll go back to the command prompt or the console. And let's do root admin up arrow. To see what I did before was I just backspaced over this and pressed enter and basically had it relaunch the miner that way. I wonder if I stop it. Try something here. Well, first let's go to the page and see if okay, so this is back up. Still doesn't have the souls per second and all that stuff. All right, that's expected. So now I'm going to go miner stop. Okay, so it sounds like it's stopping. Then I'm going to, you see here that I took off the non-VML in here. So I'm going to relaunch it like this without non-VML and just see. Before, doing it this way didn't work because we saw the souls per second just drop dramatically right after doing this. So I want to see if this actually works. I don't know. Right away it looks normal. The souls per second looks good. Not yet talking back to the dashboard yet though. Alright, so maybe alright, so see now it does have all the extra info. It's got the souls per watt, got the wattage, and that's because we took out the non-VML at the end of this. I hope y'all saw how I did that. Although it looks like it affects the dashboard, maybe that's why. So we might have kind of stumbled upon the reason that they disable it. They might have to use that feature or that for feeding information to the dashboard, and now that we took out the non-VML, now it's like blocking. Hey, what's up, Chancoin? Now it's like blocking the ability of Miniz updating the dashboard. That's kind of what it looks like to me. I don't know. Tell me what you think. It's not updating the dashboard anymore. You can see it right here. You know, I can refresh it. It's not working, although you can clearly see that the miner is running. It is hashing souls per second. You can look at it on the telemetry. So what I'm getting at is I think that they have it, that non-VML is probably required to be able to communicate correctly with the dashboard. And I'm probably not saying that exactly right. There's probably another reason, but in short, that's probably the case. And we can kind of test this too, because if we come in here and we stop the miner, and then we put non-VML back in there, start it, Actually, I'm saying non-VML. It's probably no in VML. But anyway. Serpent, yes, it was in there by default. Okay, so now I put the non-VML back in there. That was the right terminology, right? Non. Yeah, no in VML. Okay, so now you can see how it took it out of here. Took it out of the dashboard here, or the telemetry. Okay. And it's still not feeding the information to the dashboard, but I would assume that it needs a restart, you know, in order to set everything back up. I don't see anything else in here that would mess it up. Cannot read health status. Yeah, so I think that a restart is going to be in order here. There you go, NVML, NVIDIA Management Library. Thanks, Serpent. Yeah, I was saying non-VML because that's just the way it reads. Alright, so I'm going to get out of there. Alright, so let's give it a reboot and see if we can get everything back up and running normally. It is firing back up. You can hear it. Maybe. Yeah, Serpent, you can see right here, if you just hit the up arrow at the console prompt here, you can see the no NVML at the end of it. So what I would recommend, or what I think would be cool if they would do, they being Hashr8 OS, is the data that isn't being pulled from the telemetry, this page right here, like for example souls per watt and watt, then get that data into Hashr8 OS, right? So have the column here that shows souls per watt, right? I mean, yeah, you can calculate it out yourself, but you know, it seems like it would be a easily doable thing in here. So Just a recommendation for the hash rate guys. For Equihash, souls per watt would be great. Yeah, so we did gain quite a bit of hash rate, maybe, or souls per second. I think total for the rig was probably I think it was 214, 212, something like that on Gminer with all the same settings. So we gained a little bit. Definitely something to look at if you're into mining Equihash. It seems like Miniz is on top of things as far as efficiencies go. Plus they have a cool interface. They actually have a really cool GUI interface if you're mining in Windows that can generate your, you can set it to generate your config files and all kinds of cool stuff. So if you're mining from Windows, you can actually use a GUI interface with this miner, which is kind of neat. Well, Serpent, it does have the telemetry setting in there also, parameter right here. It is to the loopback address, which I don't think that would matter. If you changed it to the actual IP, I don't think that would matter at all. Yeah, so it's in there, and that's why you can actually get to it this way. It's just missing this data. I guess that in some way it probably interferes with communicating with the dashboard correctly, maybe. I don't know. I forgot about that too. So on Miniz, if you go to the console, if you go to this right here and you click on this little guy down here, it actually gets you to the actual console, so you can see the miner actually running. That's kind of neat too. Definitely a neat feature of Miniz. Alright, so that is 45 minutes. I think I've covered everything that I wanted to cover. Anybody got any questions or any suggestions or recommendations or anything like that? Let me know. You can hit me up in the chat or comments after the video post and all that stuff. I think I posted my video from yesterday. I forgot to check. Sometimes I forget to do that. Yeah, okay, so it's live. Alright, that's cool. Yeah, so hit me up in the comments below. Let me know what you thought of the video. I think it was pretty informative. I think I did pretty well for the first time ever messing with Miniz. I think we got through it pretty well. But I do appreciate Serpent and you guys hanging out and helping me out here. Crypto Mikkel, thanks so much, man. And it looks like Red Panda did a quick drive-by. Good job. Alright, so if you did find this video helpful, be sure, or at least entertaining in some way, be sure to subscribe, like, share, click if you're watching this after the fact, after it posts, after the live stream. Click the notification bell so you don't miss out on anything in the future. And like I said before, let's go ahead and keep the conversation going in the comments below. Actually, it helps the channel whenever you make comments and then I reply to you and stuff. So if you can throw some comments down there or some suggestions, that's fine. Let's keep the conversation going about Miniz or ZEL or Hashr8 OS or just anything. Do that in the comments below. It is appreciated. Also follow me on Twitter. Over here I do sometimes I'll do polls and things like that to decide what we might be covering that night in the live stream. I haven't been doing that as much lately because I've been kind of deciding for everybody because I want to talk about things that I'm interested in too, which right now it's ZEL. Last week it was swap, and I like kind of doing more than one live stream on a project or on a topic. I think it helps, you know, line everything up. Because I can tell you this, whenever I'm doing like what little bit of preparing I do for the live stream, sometimes I get, and I'm looking at something else, and I'll get confused on, like tonight I was looking at Phoenix Miner and Miniz at the same time for 2 different reasons, and some of the things that were sticking in my head about Phoenix Miner I was trying to apply to Miniz. So it's better to stay on topic and focused, you know, and get through something instead of jumping around like that. So anyway, so be sure to follow me on Twitter as well. I do keep you updated on what's going on the channel, and I do tweet about crypto stuff over there as well. So yeah, that is going to do it. I will see you guys tomorrow night, same time. Maybe Brandon Coin will be live tomorrow. I know he's traveling, and but he said he was going to try to do videos, but I think he posted a video today, earlier today, like probably a premiere or just a pre-recorded video. So anyway, I will see you guys tomorrow night. Stay savage, everybody.